G'day there everyone. Now this is answering a question from the field, and the question is, how do you add a new content type to the content type gallery and mark the parent to be a site page? So what we can do is create these either at the site collection level, so it's scoped specifically to the site, or we can create these in the content or the tenant content type gallery. Depending on which you choose and the scope at which you want to have a content type would determine where the best place to create these are. So let's have a look at how we create these in the site collection to start with. So the site collection here, if you're a site collection admin, then you will have the ability to do this. So we go into the site information, we'll go into view all site settings. Now in this section here under web designer galleries, we'll see a site content types link here. There we can create our new content type. Here we give this a name, so let's call this custom site page. Now the existing category, or we can choose to create a new category. So I'm going to create a new category. I'm going to call this Daniel Anderson, and we'll keep all of our custom content types as part of inside that category. Just easier for us to manage. Now here we've got a parent content type. This is where we want our content type to inherit from, because it is hierarchical in nature. All right, so every content type does have a parent. The parent category we want to choose here is a document content type. A page is just another type of document. Here we've got the ability now to choose our parent. Now in our case, we want to choose a site page, and then we can create that content type. Going to create it, and you can see it inherits all its parent site columns as well. So we can see here the site page has these default content types by default. We can add a new site column to our custom one if we want to. So what we might do is go create a new site column. Let's call this page category. So we'll call this page category. We'll create a new category here. And I'll call this one SC. All right, so Daniel Anderson site columns. We'll then select from a column type. With this one, I'm just going to choose choice, and then we can have our choice options. So we could say news, we could say events, we could say announcements for our different pages. All right, so here we go. We've got our categories. Now I'll hit save. So now we've created a site collection content type with its parent of site column. Now, if I jump back now into the site itself, we want to actually be able to consume that and start using that content type, probably on the site pages library, I would imagine. So pages, and then I'm going to jump into, now we can do this a couple of different ways. We can add a column, and then we can go down and scroll down on the right hand side, and we can add a content type. We can do it this way. We hit next, and now we've got the ability here to add a custom site, our custom content type. Or we could go to the library settings, we could go to more library settings, and then what we would need to do is jump into add from existing site content types. You can see that we're in a classic editor or classic page here. We can go to our group that we created, and we've got our custom site page. So there's two ways that we can add that. I'm just going to cancel back out of this, and we'll do it in the modern UI. So we'll go to add a column, we'll scroll down to add a content type, we'll hit next, and then that will allow us to choose from any from our custom content types. There's ours. We'll hit apply. It's adding that to the library, and now what we'll be able to do is we will be able to go new custom site page, and then that is going to create a new page based on our content type. So we'll give this a title, and then what we will be able to see is when I hit onto page details, we'll be able to see that we do now have our page category, which is here, news, events, or announcement. So what we might do is choose announcement, and we will now publish that page. So now we've got that custom content type published, and you can see it's just like a normal page, but we've got our additional properties. Now that's scoped to this particular site collection. What if we wanted to reuse that a content type across many site collections across your tenant? Well, that's where the tenant-wide content type gallery comes into play. Now you do have to have elevated privileges here. So SharePoint admin, the SharePoint admin role at a minimum. We'll jump into the SharePoint admin center, and now under on the left hand navigation bar, we'll be able to, under content services, we've got a tenant scope tenant-wide content type gallery, which we could do the same thing. So we can create a content type. Let's go company site page. All right. So we'll call this one company site page. We'll create a new category. So again, I'm going to just prefix this with an underscore, and we'll go give this a name. And we'll have a parent category of document. And again, from a content type, parent content type, we'll go site page. So again, same as we saw before, we've got all the columns from the site page, and we can add our new site column. So let's call this review date. So we'll give this a name of review date. We'll create a new column, and we'll a new category, category group, and we'll call this Copilot Studio Site Columns. We'll pick the type. We'll choose a date and time for this one, and we'll hit save. So we've now created a custom content type based on the site page parent, added a new site column that our custom one is going to use. Now, if we now jump back just to show, I'll jump back onto this particular site that we're using. Now, if I go again, I'll go into the site pages. Actually, the first thing we need to do is we need to actually publish this content type. So let's hit publish first, because it's unpublished right now. So we'll publish. This will then make this available across the tenant and across different site collections for you to use. So we'll jump into the site pages. I'll just give this a refresh. We can see there is the page that we created. Now I'm just going to flick over to all pages, and I'm going to set this as the default view. Now I'm going to also show or hide columns. I'm going to also add the content type column here. So let's just look for content type, which should be there somewhere. There it is. So we'll go apply. And then you can see here that we do have that content type. Now, let's add our additional one. So I'm going to go to add a content type, remembering we created this at the tenant level. Now you can see that this also appears. So we're now consuming that. We've published that centrally, and I can change and I can add a company site page also to this library. So what you'll see under the new menu, once this has been added, that we go new, and now we've got custom site page, remembering that's scoped to this site, only this site. And now we've also got a company site page, which when we create that will be based on the site page. And we've got that additional metadata of the date, all right, of the review date. So if I hit page details, now we've got the review date, but we don't have the category that is in the other content type because it's a different content type itself. And we can then, now this is at the tenant level, we can jump into another site collection and reuse that content type across different sites now as well. So a little bit of a deep dive for you about creating both site collection content types and content types at the tenant level in the content type gallery that then libraries and lists can consume either at the scope site collection level or more broadly across the entire tenant. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.